Alrighty, we're live from Columbus, OH. This is the Ramsey Show After Show. And we'll wait for. And that double me that you hear, that means that audio is working, and now that's muted. So we are all good. You're watching this youtube.com/coachstevemoney. That's how you get to my channel. And you can, 1,999 subscribers, so just one shy of 2,000. So maybe it'll get there by the end of this stream, hopefully. But for my financial content, Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach, and you just go past the Oak Island playlist. Second to last episode, no cap recap, dropped, as the kids say, last night. And what, 223 views already? You'll see the Ramsey Show After Show, and there is the new one right there. And if we reload, it'll probably show, nope, still shows the green screen. All right. So that's the new one. We have 546 episodes of that in there. So there's plenty of me talking, even when it's not the live show. And 138 in the Answering Your Financial Questions playlist. And there's 12 Ramsey adjacent songs in the music playlist. And what's one that I don't do that often? Let's see. Oh, I guess from One Direction. That's what gives financial peace. That's what gives financial peace. And so, not singer, not my regular job. And so, don't be expected too much, but you might enjoy the words and you can sing along. Fun, fun, fun. Alrighty, and market report. Basically, we're back, baby. All the people that sold are dumbasses. So all that's back, and from the year, so now in the past year, it's up 12.3%. Again, just like it's supposed to do every single year, even with this downtime in it. And so that's why you don't sell, because it always comes back. And now it's not at the new high yet, again, or have reached the old high, but it is getting up there. Let's see what for the NASDAQ as well, it's getting close. But you don't sell. And so what happens is, if, it was up here and everybody was happy, and then it started to go down, and then if you started selling, then you locked in losses, and that's dumb as crap, so don't do that. It's retirement savings anyway. We're not day trading. So it's retirement, so you don't touch it until retirement. You just let it go and make money for you. The Russell Small Cap Index down 0.61% though, down 0.62% now. It changes. Let's see what the rest of the planet is doing. Mostly down in Europe, almost everything up in Asia. US dollar though, down to the euro, down to the Japanese yen. Up against the British pound, though, love. Up against the Canadian dollar, Sorry. And up against the Australian dollar. That's a NAR. Let's see. What else do we have here? Charles Schwab. Did they report already? Or is that Sometimes they report first thing in the morning. Sometimes they report at noon, and sometimes at the end of the day. And they popped up at the beginning, but then since then down. And it just takes a big pop at the beginning of the day, like that, and going up there, and then somebody says, oh, well, I want to make some money. I'm a day trader, so I want to make some money, so I'm selling, and so then that happens. But let's see if it... And it doesn't say anything about earnings report, so I'm assuming, as the people say in the UK for some reason, they put an H in there, that it has not been released yet and will be later today. And again, that's one thing that is not my favorite about the new time, because the trading day is just getting started, and at the old 4 p.m. Eastern time, the trading day would be done. When the Ramsey show was at 4 and I was at 5:27 p.m. Walmart tomorrow, much more interested in that anyway, and that is a 7 a.m. announcement. So we could see what happens there, and Applied Materials and everything in the top, except for Amazon, down 0.16%, but they've been up big recent days. But that's the only one that is negative out of the most followed single stocks on the Google. Let's check the headlines. Stock market, do I have that one here? Yeah, stock market today. S&P 500 wipes out 2025 losses as NVIDIA powers tech rally. Yeah, so again, if you overreacted and sold, you were dumb as crap. You sold when it was down, because it always comes back to a new and goes to a new high. And if it ever would not do that for the first time, I think America would be having more problems than your retirement account, even for you. So we did that. Let's see. LAX, Uber drivers wait and wait and wait. Well, I'm sure the traffic's not great there. Probably, I have no idea what kind of special hoops they have to jump through at the airport. Who knows? And so may not be making any money there, but that's when you decide, well, I guess I won't be an Uber driver anymore. Trump trade war with China may never be totally over, former Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross says. And you're not the Commerce Secretary anymore, so shut up. Don't need your opinion on it. And I would say that for both sides equally, you're not in charge anymore, so quit whining. Next time, run some intelligent people that can do more than, say, talking points for 5 minutes. Video podcasts are having a moment at media upfronts. Okay, well, I mean, podcasts have been a thing for a while, and a very profitable thing. Guardian, it's a news organization in the bloody UK, I believe. Customers are being duped. How murky grocery sales tactics are squeezing some Kroger shoppers. What? No, they're not. I mean, if you are so again, I said this the other day. So if you're buying something normally, like on the shelf right below it, or if it's like a specialty item or whatever, or if it's in a freezer and it's on one of the end caps, little retail jargon for you there, one of the end caps, it'll have a big sign up at the top, but it tells you how much it is. Now, that being said, some of your higher priced grocery stores sometimes forget to put the prices, it seems, quite a bit. Like, especially on, not on your regular shelf items, but like thing on displays, like in the bakery and deli area, and they will just not have a price there. And I'm sure probably the majority of the shoppers will just grab it and go and not pay any attention to how much it costs, and they'll never know how much it costs because they won't even look at the receipt. And so I don't know exactly what's going on there. Maybe I'll take a look at that later. I'm kind of interested in that. Oh, let's look at it now. All right, Guardian trying to. Well, if they'll let me, let's see. Multiple states have overcharged customers by listing expired sale tags, then ringing up regular prices. A practice that adds extra burdens on struggling U.S. families. All right. Oh yeah, and if it says it expires though, I mean you would want to look at that. You would want to see if it actually is expired, and occasionally that may happen, but if it's like a consistent thing, yeah, then that's sus. And so I am a Kroger shopper. But mostly I get the discounted stuff from like the deli bakery sometimes, that kind of thing, the day old stuff or the thing that is expiring today. And I get the Kroger brand PAP, the version of Coke Zero Sugar or Diet Coke, because that's only $1.25, sometimes $1. And no need to buy Coke brand for twice as much. So that's a NAR on that. What up, Simply? So we did that one. Let's see. Renewable energy booming in Texas. Republicans want to change that. Okay. If they're in charge, they could probably do it. Rivian and Volkswagen's new $22,500 car proves cheap electric vehicles don't have to be low tech. The Tesla rival's software boss says, "Yeah, well, it can't be an idea, and I mean you can't tout an idea that much. It's got to be in existence and actually work just as well as something else." So, and it may. Egg prices. It's from Fox Business. Egg prices declined for the first time in months amid avian flu outbreak. North Korea IT workers are being exposed on a massive scale. Alrighty. What is that in? Wired? No, that's a tech platform. Used to be a magazine. I think that's how it got its start. And then it said, oh, look, there's the internet. Let's go on there. That'll be fun. What did I want to look at? Oh, Palantir 1.25. It was down. Aurora Innovations down a lot. Don't know what that is. Supermicro computer motherboard manufacturer. They're up 14.42%, and that's gonna break. People love the tech, and that's why again you can't just be an S&P 500 index. It's so stupid. At least throw some in the NASDAQ index, and that's not even the Ramsey advice either. It's to do managed funds that beat both of these. All right. But yeah, NASDAQ has beaten the S&P 500 17 out of the last 20 years. So it's just lazy to just do an S&P 500 index fund. Better than nothing for sure. That's 100% true. But you're leaving money on the table. All right. I got this from Study Finds. Study Finds is a fun website. Concert ticket economics, the shocking amounts fans are paying per live song in 2025. I did not look at this yet. Let's check it out. And that is who? Oh, Lana Del Rey. Okay. The priciest concert performer at $16.02 per song, while Charlie XCX, is that some pronunciation for XCS? SCX. Tops the per minute cost at $3.55. Oasis generates the most revenue per song at $858,024. No. $858,024. My bad. with nightly earnings of $17.16 million across the reunion tour shows. Budget conscious fans get the best value from Ed Sheeran at just 91 cents per minute and Usher at 3.76 per song. How about that? And you do have to appreciate the people that do charge a lot of money for it. If they do like 3-hour concerts, some crazy amount, that's better than not doing that. Is there a list? Let's see. That's Lana, then Lady Gaga's after that, and we're doing per song here. Yeah, per song. This is the per song list in order now. Then Beyonce. Oh, you single ladies. Oh, you single ladies. Per song. All right. It's not going to be a fun list like I thought, because they're like changing it up as to what they're talking about per song or per minute or that. But I thought it was going to be a list. Oh, there we go. There's a nice table for you. It shows you the songs performed. Lana, you can do a couple more songs, can't you? 15 songs. Don't want to lose the voice, maybe. So we have, let's see, what is this ordered by, though? Nothing. Per show. Cost per song, is that what it is? It looks, yeah, cost per song is how it's ordered. So, Lady Gaga, after Lana Del Rey, of course. Beyonce, Oasis, Charlie, yes. Lainey Wilson, country artist. And I'd heard of her, but she had one of the songs in the Twisters soundtrack. Billie Eilish, I know who that is. Duh. Coldplay, Sabrina Carpenter, Bad Bunny. Really? That high? So Bad Bunny over Shakira and Dua Lipa and AC/DC and Metallica and Katy Perry. Wow. All right. Guess the kids love the Bad Bunny. Pitbull, Post Malone, Justin Timberlake. Did not know he was touring. Gracie Abrams. She's new, I believe. Or newer than all the rest of these people, because I've heard of them. I've actually heard of Gracie Abrams, but I don't know any of the songs. Boom, boom, boom. Tyler, Olivia Rodrigo. She finally got her driver's license, I think. Hozier. Green Day, The Weeknd, Ed Sheeran, Teddy Swims, Drake, and Usher. Alrighty. Oh, let's see. What did I miss in chat when I was doing that? You should try Thrive Market and eat better. I don't know that we have a Thrive Market here in the greater Columbus, Ohio area, but I will check on that. Or plant a garden and eat fresh. Yeah, that's not going to happen. I'm not a farmer. So that's definitely not going to happen. I appreciate the thought of it. I understand the thought of it. Eating fresh, I get it. I'm sure it's great, yummy food. Would be more plants in your home, right, in pots. Wouldn't that be great? Well, I'm trying not to start an ecosystem in my building. I mean, I have enough problems with it being right outside an ecosystem. So. What up, Trey? Mama call him Trey. Daddy call him Trey. Yeah, she's rolling her eyes at me. I know. That's just the way it goes. That's just the way. You don't want to change me. You want me to stay the same lovable person I am right now. And donating extra versus paying down low interest mortgage. I talked about this yesterday. If you're a Christian, you do both. Because you would have tithing off the top in your budget. And then any extra money gets put on the mortgage, whether it's high interest or low interest. That doesn't affect it. So people are nutty. They think things affect the baby steps that do not. And pretty much nothing affects the baby steps. You're either doing them in that same order with the same advice as always, or you're pausing them if there's some kind of emergency. Growing your own saves you money on groceries. Seems a financial coach would be all about saving money. Hey man, I choose my luxuries. For example, in-unit washer and dryer. I don't like my clothes to be mixing with other people's clothes or where other people's clothes have been. I don't like that. Let's see. This is from 50 Dill for MILF. Alrighty then. Baby step 7. Do you get emotional at other people's success now? Did I do this one? I think I might have just talked about it a little bit. I like for people to be successful. I don't know that I would necessarily call it emotional, quote unquote. But why wouldn't you? Especially if you have achieved the maximum baby step, which is 7. Why wouldn't you be happy for other people as well? And like, it doesn't have to, you wouldn't have to go so far as to classify it as emotional. But anyway, let's see what's going on with this person. When was the average debt slave? I almost resented hearing about people's success in getting out of debt. That does happen. That could never have been me or my family or on our income. And apparently it was. Then I got serious and made gazelle intensity look like a tortoise. Yeah, that's how you do it. Didn't happen overnight, and there were some tough times that tested our resolve. That generally does happen as well. Now I find real joy and sometimes an actual tear of happiness when I read or hear about someone else's success in getting their financial house in order and just want to high five them and celebrate. Okay, so this person is getting what I would call quote unquote emotional about it. I mean, certain stories and stuff like that, I may shed a tear. And I am happy for anybody that even just gets out of debt. That's even gets to baby step 3, because that's huge. Because with the debt culture that we live in, it's hard to get away from that even. It's amazing how the stress of debt can rob people of joy. That much is true, and lift your outlook on life when you're out of it. Anyone else feel that way, or am I just an emotional softie? You could be a little bit of both, but I'm sure like I said, I do want everybody to have success. That's part of why I'm a financial coach. And of course, I do accept that not everybody is going to have that financial success because they are not willing to sacrifice. They don't want to bear it. Thrive Market is online. Yeah, that tends to be way more expensive than if you will have to have things ordered and shipped. I'm sure it's very nice stuff though, but probably a little out of my price range. Speaking of saving money, Quirky Salad 6870. I've never done any order food thing like that, and I'm trying to think. I mean, I probably had pizza delivered when I was in my 20s, but otherwise I've always just gone to go get it, and that's my tip, because by going to get it myself, that I don't have to pay a tip or a delivery fee. Let's see, need guidance on next steps. Might have done this one. See, my wife and I made solid financial progress recently, and I'm looking for some advice on where we should be putting our money next. Here's a current situation. Both got raises now, each make $120,000 a year. Great. So that's $240 if you do the math there. We have one car payment done, $18K remaining, which we plan to pay off next month. Great. If you have other savings other than the $1,000 emergency fund, then you would pay it off today instead of next month. Primary home is $468,000 mortgage. We've been here 2 years, and the monthly payment is $3,200. Is that on a freaking 30-year? If so, you're doing it wrong. But there's no problem with that. With their shouldn't be any problem with that amount of mortgage. At least now, maybe it was when they bought it, but with their income now, there's no problem. We own a condo in downtown Nashville, currently valued at $240K. That's in addition to the primary home, I'm guessing. We owe $98K on it and rent it for $1,400 a month. That rental has its own account with separate income/expenses. We're both contributing 15% to 401k. Okay. Recently sold some stock options and now have 75K sitting in a Fidelity account. Okay. Single stocks, options, none of that's advised. We also have 50K in savings and usually keep 10 to 12K in checking. Right. You wouldn't have that while you have this car payment. So you're doing it wrong. The next guidance on next steps, or need guidance on next steps, my next step for you would be to do the baby steps correctly. Is what I would recommend on that. We feel like for us, we're in a good spot. But we want to make sure we're being smart with this momentum, especially the 75K from the stock sale. Yeah, you would pay off your freaking car with it, dummy. Should we invest it, pay down the house, or something else entirely? You pay your car off today, not we'll pay it off next month. What's the delay? So if you look at the baby steps, paying off non-mortgage debt is step 2, so that would come before any other of this crap that you're doing with the money. We appreciate guidance from folks who've been through similar steps. Okay, well, so we haven't been through similar steps that you're doing because you're doing it wrong. We have been through the baby steps, and that's what I would recommend. And so that would be step 2, taking care of first, no non-mortgage debt. So you pay all that off. You liquidate whatever you have to pay that off today. And then after that is the full emergency fund, which they likely already have it. Doesn't say anything in a high yield savings account or anything like that. 50K in savings. Okay, so that's they probably already have the emergency fund. 2, and you would use that if you didn't have 75K sitting in a Fidelity account. You would be using the 50K because you're not supposed to have 50K. Because I don't see on the step 1 here, I don't see save $1,000 for your start emergency fund. Oh, and save $49,000 extra if you feel like it while you still have a freaking car payment. It does not say that there. So you're doing it wrong. So again, the next steps would be to actually do the baby steps in order, and you quit thinking about the things that you're doing and think that, oh, well, this is fine. Obviously, you don't think it's fine, or you wouldn't have asked. You wouldn't have asked. So, or you found yourself to the Dave Ramsey subreddit without ever hearing of Dave Ramsey before, and doubtful on that one. So you're just doing it wrong, and it's probably because you want to do it wrong, because you don't want to do it the right way, or you have a serious interpretation problem of the baby steps. So you would do the steps in order, and that all includes investing, paying down the house, kid college, if that applies. All that's taken care of in the baby steps, and so you don't have to go through all of this crap and type all this out. You can just go, oh, look, there's the baby steps. Oh, so I should do this then, instead of overthinking it and trying to improve upon the baby steps, because that's not going to happen. They are talking about Trey has berry vines, dewberry, blackberry, boysenberry, peach. As I mentioned, maybe making a wine. I like that idea, so I've been looking what's involved. That's a good hobby. Trey doing a bit more than 15% because I have a decade or more to make up for. Plus, I don't have a house note. Well, if we don't have a house note, that means you're in step 7, so you can invest as much as you want. You can be a lot more than 15%. Muscadines, all right. Is that what, is muscadines what muscatel comes from? I've heard of that. Past Yak 2449 food budget. Hi guys. First off, I'm on baby step 2. I'm a single guy. How much should my food budget be? How much should my food budget be? Is 400 a month? 2 TO much. Hashtag 3rd grade. Go back to 3rd grade first of all. Then second of all, there's a thing known as a period in between sentences that should happen. And then the next, when you start the next sentence, that's a capital letter. So yeah, $100 a week is too much for one person, sir. For reference, that does include protein powder, as I'm joining the Coast Guard to become a rescue swimmer. So the entire 400 isn't just for food. Protein powder does not have to cost that much. So it's still too much. Still too much, even if you include the protein powder. Still too much, dog. Quit eating so much. And if you're not eating that much and you're just buying very expensive things, cut that crap out as well. You're doing it wrong. Door 74, still unsure about credit card usage. Mr. Ramsey says no. He's the no debt guy. Are you not familiar with Mr. Ramsey? 25-man Canadian and have been watching a lot of Dave Ramsey to gain insight and wisdom on personal finance. No debt, paid off student loans. Canadians university are cheaper than U.S. ones. Great. Everything else is more expensive there. And living with parents, but contribute to rent and groceries. 25-man, how about you be a man and move out? Would be the Ramsey advice on that, and not live with mommy and daddy. What up, Sid? Muscadines are a type of grape, and you use it to make wine or jam. Yeah, I heard, it was a Steve Martin movie. Oh, no, it was Steve Martin in the Muppet movie where Miss Piggy said, ooh, champagne. And Steve Martin was a waiter, and he said, not quite. Sparkling Muscatel. One of the finest wines of Idaho. Trey said you can spend 50 to 75 on a good protein powder for 1 month supply. You can spend more, but the middle of the pack ones tend to be okay and in that price range. Yeah, and so 50 to 75. All right, I'll even go for that for a 1 month supply. So where's the rest of the money going? It's $100 a week he's spending. So that's $400 for the whole month. So even if you subtract the $75, we'll go on the high end of that for the month. That's still $325, and that's still too much. There's still things you can cut out of there. Now, it also depends on if you have any debt. If you're in steps 1, 2, or 3, yeah, there's none of that. There's not even any protein powder. The rescue swimmer, Coast Guard people, they don't say you have to have protein powder. That's on you. You know, how about you prioritizing your finances over whatever you think you're getting from the protein powder? Where are we at? Really enjoy his videos mainly because I love the principle of living below your means. Okay, so do that. And part of that means you don't use freaking credit cards. Currently, I would say I'm living slightly above my means. but have these phases where I bring it back. Well, that's dumb as crap, sir. If you love the principle of living below your means, why don't you freaking do that? So you, my little Canuck friend, are nutty. Hence the reason I enjoy checking. I'm trying my best to do or do not. There is no try. If you can, and if you're wondering why people have this problem to not coddle themselves, it's because they've been coddled by their parents. 25 years old, still living with mommy and daddy. How about you be a man, move out, and then you'll have some adversity, and then you'll realize, oh, I can't be a dumbass with my finances and live above my means. But now you don't have any adversity in your life. You have nothing. You have no adversity. Let's see. I watched the 1 hour plus video on him explaining the baby steps along with a couple of myths. So yeah, and I'm sure he said don't use credit cards as well. So got a great idea. If you like what he's saying, do it. If you don't like it enough, there's no need to post on here that you like it a little bit, and just don't do it. So I'm done with you, Canadian E. Sorry. Mr. Ramsey would say don't do it. And so if you want to follow his advice, don't use credit cards. If you still think you want to use them for whatever reason, and that is living above your means, then go ahead and do it. Knock yourself out. As Dave likes to say, says Sid, he doesn't have any problems. That's right. That's right, Sid. Coddled by mommy and daddy. And that is a problem. So, because you don't know what the world's like. You don't know what it's like to have to pay for everything yourself. And so, of course, you don't know how to deal with it. Baby step, let's see, what is it? Insanity aversion. All right. I mean, nothing wrong with being adverse to insanity. Especially when it's other people. But, I mean, I guess if it's yourself as well, you can be averse to it. Try to not have that happen. Baby step 4, but needs suggestions. Oh, on the investing? Alrighty. Let's see what's going on here. Tell me the exact mutual funds to invest in, probably. Let's see, my husband and I bought a home less than 2 years ago. Okay. And so a lot of this stuff probably not necessary if it's just trying to find out what the... Oh, it's not. Okay. I thought it would be trying to find out. Okay, so... All right, let's see what they did. Husband and I bought a home less than 2 years ago. Made a strategic mistake by putting down only 5%. Yep. And taking out an FHA loan. Yep. At 6.625% interest rate. Yep. Bad. Our goal is to refinance to a conventional loan once interest rates drop. And we have at least 20% equity through a combination of market appreciation and additional principal payments. Okay. Right now, our home is worth approximately $900,000 to $920,000. And we owe $815 on the mortgage. We're working toward lowering the loan balance to qualifying for refinancing without PMI. Okay, and that's great. But also, if you had to get a 30 to afford it, you should just sell it, would be the suggestion. So if it's too much house for you, we don't. Maybe they will say how much money they make. And let's see. Here's where we stand financially. Emergency Fund 70K and high yield 70K. We do not want to touch this as my job depends on my husband's visa status, which is tied to an employer and high risk if he loses his job. Sinking fund. Baby step 4 though, so they have no debt, so there would be no reason to touch it. Sinking fund 5K. Retirement. Oh. What? Okay. Something a high yield savings account dash sinking fund. That's a colon there, so that would mean that that's how much that is. And then And then and retirement is, oh, not a number, but we're maxing out both 401ks and Roth IRAs. Monthly surplus 2,200 after all expenses. Okay, you would be doing 15% of gross income. And everything else you would throw on the mortgage. We're debating how to best allocate this 2,200 monthly surplus. Our two main options are brokerage investing. No, there's no extra investing. You do 15%. It says it right in the baby steps. Wrong one again. See, they're both blue up here. That's why I get confused. It says right in the baby steps, look at that. It says in step 4, invest 15%. It doesn't say invest more if you want to while you still have a mortgage. That's a no. The only time you would invest more than 15% is if you get to step 7, which means your mortgage will be paid off. But I am doubting that you can even afford that. Let's see. I don't know, because they're not saying how much they make. So that's no. For long-term goals, what long-term goals? Typical child fund, 1,000 a month. If you don't have children, you don't do that part. You would prioritize paying off what actually exists today, which is that mortgage, which we'll need access to in about 2 years. My concern is if we divide the money this way, we may not have enough available for extra principal payments. Need to refinance, recover any costs tied to refinancing itself. What are your thoughts on whether our plan makes sense, if we should adjust the way we're allocating these funds? Thanks for reading and offering your thoughts. Okay, and so the problem here is what happens a lot of times in these questions, and when people call the Ramsey show, is you are trying to do 800 different things here. So that's doing it wrong. You are in steps 4 and 6. There are no children yet, so you do not save money for that. Or if it's something like you need to save up for like any medical things so that you can have a child, something like that, then that would be a sinking fund for sure, and you would just prioritize. You make the priorities on that as far as what you want to do. That would be in your budget, saying we're going to put this much to it, and so we won't be able to put that much to the mortgage. And so you can't say we're going to get this mortgage down and we're going to do this and this and this and this. You can't do 800 different things at the same time and keep freaking 70K in a high yield savings account, as my job depends on my husband's visa status, which is tied to his employer. See, this is a you problem, all right? This is all your junk here. I would try to get out of a situation that is so high risk, is what I would try to do if you can. But in general, you need to pick a priority. And it's still sus. How many? Only 9 comments. Let's see if we found out if the OP says a thing. But we don't have any other investments other than retirement, and you're not supposed to. Imagine that. Which is why I thought we should be putting it towards brokerage, but I think you're right. Yeah, you should. Sooner, you should. You should. Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, you have to have money if you ever need to move back to your home country. Not U.S. citizens, and life can be uncertain. I think you might be worried about it a little bit too much. The adopting, right, 25,000, yeah. Aren't adopting, but I want to save some first year of child care expenses. That's a no. No. When you start doing that is the second you are pregnant, then you pause the baby steps and just pile up cash. And that happens as per the Ramsey advice. So see, he's thought of everything. You don't have to try to go around him to handle things because he's thought of it already. All right, and so still don't say the income. And so totes sus on that. So, I mean, they would have to be making what? Sid, did you do the math yet? That would be 815K left. They probably had another They probably had more on that previously. What was that, 2 years ago? But anyway, we'll go with now the 800. That would be what, like three? They have to make 350. From the 700 and half that. 175. So yeah, 350, 325, 350 they would have to be making. And so if they're not, then guess what? It's too much house. And how you would also know is if they got a freaking 30-year dumbass FHA loan for it. So you're doing it wrong. So do it right. And trust that Mr. Ramsey has thought about all of your little crap, and he already has. Let's see. No Leopard, 2169. Should I invest in renovations? I think you should do the baby steps, and you know when a great time for renovations would be in baby step 7. How about that? Hello all. Hi guys. I have a single family rental in Indiana that I paid off during COVID. Okay, if you're in step 7, knock yourself out if you want. For $33K. Single family rental in India that I paid off during COVID for $33K. You mean that's how much it was to pay it off during COVID, and before that you owed more on it? So nutty phrasing there. I am not sure if I should pay the renovation cost to get better rent or leave as is. Well, my name is Paul, and that's up to y'all. Guess what? You could renovate it and not get that much more money. So that's up to you. And you should probably be more aware of things like that if you're going to be a landlord, instead of asking for advice on your financial matters in whether to do renovations on your rental property. You're going to ask on Reddit, in the Dave Ramsey subreddit. This is your side business, maybe, or full business. Could be the only job, but shouldn't you know about that already? Current numbers, I don't care. I just don't care. But none of that matters. Basically, the renovations would be a brand new kitchen. Yeah, I'm sure it would be very nice. Upgraded bathrooms. That'd be great. That'd be great for the renters. I don't know that it's going to make them pay you more money. I have not estimated the cost, but probably less than $40K. What should I do? Leave as is or invest in changes? We don't know. Nobody knows. Anybody that weighs in here saying that they have no idea what the right thing to do would be is lying, because you would be the best person to know, because you live there, you have that rental, you know what other rentals are going for, you would be able to do comps or whatever that people do in that business. You would be able to know, you should know that more than just the average person on the Dave Ramsey subreddit. So that's pretty dumb. But, and again, we didn't say, oh, there is a mortgage? Yeah, so if there's I thought you said you paid it off. Or is this let's see, hold on. Okay, maybe I do care about this a little bit. Built 1971. Rent for $825 a month. Expenses, management plus insurance plus taxes, $250 mortgage. I thought you said you paid it off. 0 net expenses. I'm not buying that. $575 a month current value. So is this 2 different places? Okay, so kind of nutty. If you paid it off, there is no mortgage, sir. Unless you took out a HELOC on it and then it's not paid off, you would have to pay that off. Oh, mortgage zero. Okay, my bad, misunderstood. The taxes are 250 on it, and there's no mortgage. Okay, well, you didn't have to say that. You confused me by paying that because you already said you paid it off, and I believed you. So you didn't have to say that again. Okay, so it's not zero net expenses. Net expenses are $575 a month, and you're renting it for $825. Hey, dog, that's 300 something. That's not worth it. That's not worth it to bother with. And guess what? If you spend this money for renovations, it doesn't sound like you're still not going to get enough for it to be worth bothering with. So, and that also would not be done with debt. You would have to have the $40K in cash as well. So, kind of nutty doing something to make $300 a month. You could just sell the freaking rental and have cash, a bunch of cash, and you can put it in the market, which will make more than this dumbass rental. All right. A lot of dumbassing lately. M Nitro. I see what he did there. Converting 401k. 401k? That's a different thing. 401k to gold. See, I put the G instead of the K there. Got confused. Converting 401k to gold, and that would be a no for Mr. Ramsey because he says no metals. No metals. And let's see why did we want to do this? Because the market was down? Let's see. I've been getting emails. Okay. Here's the thing. 99.9999999% of the time, you getting emails about something is not a reason to do it, ever. That, again, is you being a dumbass. They're only clearing $250 a month on the property. Does that even cover taxes? He said the taxes were $250. So, yeah. Yep. Getting emails, and really my mind is all over the place about what if they revalue gold, that if I don't buy gold or whatnot, I may be missing out later. You know, this person, I'm just going to wash my hands of here. I'm going to read the rest of it though. Other part of me just rather do what I'm doing and keep building my retirement with everything else. I recently got email about converting my 401k to gold, so really this stuff is on my mind again. What is everyone opinion? How about hashtag third grade? How about convert your 401k to a third grade education? It's everyone's opinion. Pretty much, if this does play out, how would it look long term? Well, we don't care because Mr. Ramsey does not recommend gold. Look where you are. You're on reddit.com/r/Dave Ramsey. That means it's the Dave Ramsey subreddit. So we got 51 people weighing in, and I'm sure some of them are metal people and gold people, and so I'm sure some of them said to do it, but it's dumb. You don't do something just because you get an email about it. Especially when it's something that you didn't ask for. You didn't ask for anybody's opinion on that. And if it's like from a brokerage that you don't even have money in, then that's what we call junk mail. And that needs to go to the spam folder, because if it doesn't go to the spam folder, it'll make dumbasses like you think about converting your 401k to gold, which is dumb as crap. All right. Progression decibel rebaselining my retirement investments. Need general advice. Well, is this called balancing? Because my pal Sid roll her eyes every time I hear a gold commercial, and good investments don't advertise themselves. That much is certain. Trey is totally calling 401k at the last employer and slowly rolling it over as 401k. Yep. I deserve that one. That's a good one, Trey. So my pal Sid called Mr. Ramsey one time and asked, how how often should she rebalance? Because, and I'm just guessing, I don't know exactly what her investments are. So my guess would be that just because of the general nature of the market, her large cap became, it starts out at the same number because you invest equally among the 4 categories. And so it starts out equally. But then guess what happens? The market applies itself. And oh, look at this. Is it going? Oh, no. That's currencies. My bad. I thought it was going down. So as you can see, just like today, the NASDAQ is kicking the S&P 500's ass yet again. And so your large cap has made more than, say, your small cap. And probably the last 5 years. Let's see when the last time it looked like the oh no, it got to a new high recently. Okay, all right, small. That's right, I forgot that all the indexes all the main 3 that we watch, main 4, got to new highs recently. Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay, but it has had some down times in there. There's your Pandy crash right there, and then back in 6 months. So people that sold there were dumb as crap again, locking in the losses. But it seems it hadn't made as much money. And as a matter of fact, let's check last 5 years. 65%, and the NASDAQ would be 111%. Keep leaving money on the table, people. I actually do not do that. I was being sarcastic when I told you to do that. So the large cap category probably, and she can correct me if I'm wrong, and probably already is, the large cap category probably ended up being way more than some of her other categories. And so she called asking how often she should rebalance, and I believe Mr. Ramsey said you can do that maybe 2 or 3 times in your entire life. So, rebaselining, lol. To be honest, did called because noticed the option and was curious. Okay, got it. Okay, that's fair. So that's my bad for assuming that the amounts in her categories prompted the call. So, but she just saw the option. So another good reason to call. Are you sure you didn't call to humble brag, Sid? Are you sure? Because a lot of people think that, if you have a retirement account, you must be bragging about that, Sid. Because a lot of people that bitch about stuff on there, they don't have them, I guess. So they jelly. I already did that. That's not what we needed. So, let's see what this actually is here. Quick intro facts. Married, 45 years old. Been working a pro career for 24 years old now. I'm at baby step 4. Okay. Normally say I'm on baby step 4, but alrighty. We are both salaried employees of separate companies. I make $145,000 a year. Wife is $172 per year. Hey man, you better kick it up. She's leaving you behind. Started a new job recently where my new employer offers a Roth 401k. Excellent. Not every employer will, but if they do, you should always take that because Roth is better than the 401k. Roth is second in the priority list only to match, and match is first because that's 100% rate of return on that. So the Roth would be, of course, the tax-free gains, which if you have any appreciable time in the market, your gains are going to be way more than the amount of your contributions. So you should pay taxes on the contributions. Not having to pay any taxes on your withdrawals can really help in retirement if you might. Imagine that. It also has more attractive investments in this 401k. Great. Over the years of changing jobs, like many people, I have old 401k retirement accounts sitting at past employers and also contribute up to the yearly max in a traditional rollover IRA with Vanguard. Why aren't you doing Roth for that? It should be a Roth IRA. I want to level set and start fresh and organize my retirement savings and retirement posture into, maybe overthinking a little bit here, into the best possible configuration, minimizing tax liabilities. Minimizing the tax liabilities should not be priority. Having the most money at all in retirement should trump the minimizing the tax liabilities. That's the same way that people chase dividends on stocks. And you shouldn't do that either. You should try to make the most money you can overall. And sometimes having the dividends don't necessarily mean you will make the most money overall in that. And so prioritizing dumb little stuff and not concentrating on the big prize there. Let's see, making it easier on myself to manage. Minimizing tax liabilities is causing another step for you to do. So that's not making it easier on yourself. What follows may seem a little blasphemous, so bear with me. Oh, imagine that. Imagine that. So doesn't want to do it the Ramsey way. So again, why don't you just do it the way you want to do it? I'm not going to read all this dumb crap. Let's see. Well, my thought was to consolidate, roll over to 2 older. Do I leave it traditional or just keep funding it to the max until I'm ready to retire? Of course, the suggestion is to convert. I will consult our CPA to see the tax implications. The tax implications are that it's less money to pay taxes on it now than in retirement, you idiot. Let's see. Any other advice is welcome. Looking forward to advancing baby steps. You're not doing the baby steps if what you have to say is blasphemous here. All right, let's see. Vanguard, traditional rollover. I'm reading it anyway. Without giving too much information. All righty. Yeah, I don't want to give too much. Into this IRA because my next job was consulting and I didn't get any 401k offered. Okay, currently putting post-tax money up the IRA limits for the year. I've been doing this for the past 18 years. Yeah, 18 years you've been doing that. Okay. And so if you paid taxes on that money and put that in a Roth, you dumbass, you'd have more money already. 401k sitting at past employer number 2 earns about 8 to 10%. 8 is low. Another 401k sitting at past employer number 3 also earns 8 to 10%. So, I mean, you may in the 8 to 10s, you should look at it to make sure you're not in sucky target date. Even target date probably wouldn't make even that much. I don't know though. Depends on the target date fund, I guess. But you should check the investments that you're actually in. And that would be concerning. I mean, you can roll it all over from away from past employers into your current 401k. You can do all that. And you should roll it into the Roth too. Generally, I think Mr. Ramsey says that if you have the cash, and so if you're on step 4, 5, and 6, maybe you do have the cash. So I don't know what, I didn't really see anything blasphemous. What would be blasphemous? Because it doesn't say he's invested in an index fund or anything like that. Yeah, so that's not blasphemous. Okay, my bad. See, that's your fault for saying it was going to be blasphemous. So, I don't know why that would be. So, but yeah, you can roll it however you would like. Let's see, or take the tax hit now and convert to a Roth. Yes, you should have definitely done that with the one from 18 years ago because you're already on the losing end by not doing that. So it's not baselining. I wouldn't go so far as to call that baselining. I would call it consolidating. Like putting it all, when you roll it over, that's what you're doing. You're consolidating. Alrighty. And so, yeah, not having 800 different accounts, that would help. That would make it easier to do. Not the minimizing tax liabilities. That is not always in your best interest. No pun intended. Boom, 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 bam, bam, bam. Simply had to bounce because of lunchtime. Trace is not a bad idea to do it when you change employers. Indeed. So it says, considering I made that call pre-COVID, pre-pandy, and I still don't have 1 year's income on my 401k. I don't think that was humble brag worthy. Yeah, but nobody else knows that, Sid. All they can go on is that you called with a question not about debt, but about investing. And so, of course, you must be humble bragging. Also, not having forced withdrawals equals way better. Trey, know what up. The rule is pay the taxes as early as possible so the converted funds have more time to grow tax-free. I think he meant tax-free. They make so much now, they don't qualify for a Roth IRA. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Alrighty. And so I guess that wouldn't matter for a Roth. I guess if they have to give you the Roth 401k option with the same maximums, limits, with the Roth 401k has to be with the same limits, I'm assuming. I don't know about that. Let's look at that. Is there an income limit on Roth 401k? No income limit. Unlike Roth IRAs with have income restrictions. Okay, great. Great. So yeah, you should definitely take advantage of that then, since you can't do a Roth IRA. And I did not think about that being the reason. So may have had a very fine reason for rolling it to a regular IRA instead of, forget. Some people do make a lot of money. Oh my goodness gracious me, it's 8. I didn't say Sid not humble bragging. You know why? Because she didn't say I have 300k in my 401k. Should I rebalance that? What should I do, Dave? What do we got coming up for tomorrow? Checklist for financial task after marriage. Okay, before marriage, how about you talk about finances a lot before marriage? How about that? Bring up Mr. Ramsey on the first date is my advice. Additional debt for roof. If you can get out of that, if it's not an emergency, then you don't do it. If it's an emergency, that's what the emergency fund is for. And if you don't have an emergency fund and you're on baby step 1 or 2, okay, you're in baby step 2. All right, and so that's rough to do a roof, but debt should be your last. You don't pull from retirement, so you definitely don't do that at all. But you try also to have debt be the last possible option. And baby step 4 through 6, pay off rental property versus main home first. That's a no, because you shouldn't even have the rental property. So sell the rental property to do that, unless you can pay them off both first. Or if you have some kind of weird dumbass situation that you have enough money in savings right now to pay off the main home, you're dumb as crap for having 2 freaking mortgages. Dumb. So I'll be calling this person dumb tomorrow for sure. Yeah. All right, once again, Coach Steve Money, Ramsey Solutions, certified financial coach. And if you are having money problems, or you just want to see if you're on the right track, or you just want me to tell you that you're doing it wrong, I will certainly do that. You can do that at calendly.com/coachstevemoney. That link is in the ticker below, also the video description. You can email me, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. About anything, finances, anything on my YouTube channel. Again, let's see, let's refresh this. See if let's do this. Yep, and I stopped in the middle of my plugs to do a subscriber check. Oh no, still at 1999. So getting close to 2000. So that is pretty cool. And thanks for everybody that has subscribed. Much appreciated. Oh, where was I? I was talking about donations, paypal.me/coachstevemoney. And upcoming streams. This stream, the Ramsey Show Aftershow show. New time for the Ramsey Show, 9 a.m. Don't get attached to it. Mod said for now in quotes. So I don't base your life on it being at 9 a.m. on the YouTube. And so my show is at 10:27 a.m. Eastern time. Alrighty, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, especially one more person. Just subscribe, or make another account and subscribe on that one to get me to 2,000. Subscribe, like is the thumbs up button in case you didn't know what that was. So do that and comment. And thank you again so much if you have done any of those things. And as always, make smart financial decisions every day.